Thanksgiving recipe number 2, and we're going to be doing dressing or stuffing, whatever you want to call it. But we're going to be doing it with freshly milled grains, 2 different types of bread, and we mill the grains freshly milled right here at home, bake them, and then use them for a stuffing or a dressing. So stay tuned. Hey everyone, welcome back to Grains and Grit. My name is Felicia, and as I stated, this is our second video in our Thanksgiving series, and I'm actually going to be showing you how I make my dressing or my stuffing. This is actually my very first time hosting Thanksgiving, and I'm really excited about it. So I'm completely in charge of the turkey and most of the dishes, so I'm just praying to God I don't burn the turkey. And I'm going to be showing you how I'm going to be making my dressing and stuffing for Thanksgiving. A few words about Thanksgiving that I would like to talk to you about. It is a huge, big holiday for us, and I do believe in thoroughly celebrating it and not using the day after Thanksgiving as an excuse to trample each other all over the stores to then buy things that we were supposedly thankful for what we had the day before. So, but in saying that, I do understand that there are a lot of sales going on, and some big ones are hitting the day after Thanksgiving for things that we definitely have our eyes on. And the 2 biggest ones that I can share with you right now is the Bosch Universal Mixer and the Nutrimill Harvest Stone Mill electric mill that, as you can see, I use on a nearly daily basis. I can't tell you any details of the sale until it's actually dropped. So, but I can say that you need to make sure that you are signed up for my newsletter, which is in the link below. You sign up for my free grain calculator, and that signs you up for my newsletter that I send out every week. And so I will be announcing it on email when it drops, where to go to get it, what the best sales are, things like that. You can also follow me on Instagram at Grains and Grit. Over on Instagram, I'll be sharing it there as well. And also on Instagram, I kind of keep you up to date on more day-by-day things. So with announcements that come up, that's where I'll be sharing those with you as well. So if you have been saving up and wanting to get Bosch Universal Mixers or a good grain mill for whatever reasons, they never go on sale. So now is a great time to get them. And also any accessories, I've noticed they will be on sale. Certain accessories and everything will be on sale as well. So again, sign up for my newsletter, follow me on Instagram to keep up with all of those. Now, on to the dressing or stuffing recipe. A few things about that. First of all, this is actually a converted recipe from Pioneer Woman. This is from her cookbook, A Year of Holidays, which is an excellent cookbook. I really like it. I actually get it from the library. And this is her basic Thanksgiving dressing. Now, a few things about this that we need to discuss on how I converted it. First of all, she calls for 1 batch of cornbread, 1 loaf of French or Italian bread, and then 1 loaf of ciabatta or other crusty artisan bread. So that's a lot of loaves that we would have to be making to get them all from freshly milled wheat. So what I did with mine is I actually just made my cornbread. I will be sure to link that up here and down below. If you've missed that, I do have an excellent cornbread recipe that I will be using, and that's what I've used in my dressing. And then I actually just made a simple like French loaf type recipe. I have not done a video on French bread. I will link the recipe that I have down below. It doesn't use freshly milled wheat, but I'll also share how I tweak it. It's not perfected, I would say, but it worked in this case. You can also probably use my regular loaf recipe. I would just omit the honey if you want to do that. But bottom line, whatever breads that you use, you need to cut them up in about 1-inch chunks, and then you need to leave them out either overnight to just dry them out, or do what I did, where I stuck them into a 500-degree oven for about 5 to 6 minutes to just kind of dry them out and make them a little bit more toasty. So that's the biggest thing with converting this recipe using freshly milled wheat is use cornbread recipe that I use, which I've already shown you how to do, and then another type of loaf bread. Again, I will share with you the French loaf recipe that I used below to get it all nice and crusty. So that's how you can do that. Or I do think there's a lot of forgiveness with this. If you have other bread recipes that you like, if you do have an artisan bread, if you possibly even have a sourdough bread, that might give it an interesting little taste. So if you do have a good recipe that you would like to use just a regular loaf, definitely use that as well. So now we're going to switch this camera around and we're going to show you how I made it. All right, so here we start with sheet pan of the French loaf that I have and an entire recipe of the cornbread, and I just dried this out in a 500-degree oven for about 5 minutes. And now we need 5 celery stalks, all good and chopped up. And then we're going to set that aside. And now we chop up 1 large onion and just chop it up into small pieces. And when that's ready, we're just going to set that aside as well. And now get you a large pot. This is my 7-quart Dutch oven, and we're going to take 1 stick of butter and melt that all down over about medium-high heat and add your celery and then add your onion, and we're going to stir this up and cook it until it's softened, about 4 to 5 minutes. And once it softens like this, we're going to add in 6 cups of our chicken stock or broth. I actually made this myself. And then we're going to give it a bit of a stir, just a little bit, before we add our seasonings. And now our seasonings, we add 1.5 tablespoons of parsley, 1/2 teaspoon of dried basil, 1/2 teaspoon of thyme, and 1 tablespoon of rosemary, and then some salt to taste. And then some freshly ground pepper also to taste. And then we're just going to stir all that up, let it sit here for just a little bit with the heat. And after about maybe a minute to stir it all up, we're then just going to remove it from the heat. And now we're going to grab a very large bowl. If you're like me and don't have a large bowl, grab a large pot. And then we're going to add in our bread. This is the cornbread. And then we're also going to add the French bread, or just whatever bread you have. You need to add it all to the pot. And then you're going to start ladling in the broth mixture. And you're going to keep ladling in the broth mixture until you get to your desired consistency with moistness and everything. Just remember that with freshly milled wheat, it is really going to absorb that liquid. So I do recommend adding in the entire 6 cups with this bread. And then you're going to give it a very good stir. And now we're going to taste it for seasoning. And if you need any more, add it now and then give it a good stir. And then we're going to grab a large 9x13 pan. This is actually a Pampered Chef stoneware 9x13. And we're going to put all of the dressing right into it. And while this is going on, while you're making it, be sure that you are preheating your oven to 375 degrees. And then we're going to just smooth all of this out. And once it looks good, we're going to place it into a 375-degree oven for about 20 to 25 minutes until it's golden. And here it is. It looks beautiful. It tastes really great as well. And I am so happy to be able to place this on my Thanksgiving table. So that's it, y'all. I actually made this for a Thanksgiving feast that we did, Thanksgiving potluck that we did for our homeschool community. And I didn't bring much of it back. So hopefully everyone liked it there. I do definitely recommend that you use extra broth than you think you do, because especially with bread made from freshly milled wheat, it does absorb more liquid, but that is to taste. Also, feel free to leave out certain seasonings if you don't like them, or add your own in. That's the beauty of dressing, is it's just kind of, you can kind of make it what you want. You want some more onion or maybe garlic or sage. Some people put in sage. You can do that as well. So like I said, be sure to sign up for my newsletter below and follow me on Instagram to be sure to stay up to date with any sales that are coming up on big ticket items that we use when we're baking and milling our own wheat at home. I hope this video was helpful for you, and let me know if you've tried it below. And as always, I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving, and I'll see you next week. Bye.